Folks, welcome to the North American Challenger Elite Season 3. This is an exciting time right now. We got a lot of change-ups in the teams and, new faces that we're going to be taking a look at. But first off, my name's Seymour. Alongside me is Cruz. We're going to be taking you through the action for tonight, and I am so excited for it too. Cruz, how you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. I mean, we've got a lot of fun matches lined up here tonight. A lot to go over for sure. But I mean, Colin, it wouldn't be Challengers Elite, at least the North America section, if we
Right.
didn't talk about massive roster changes coming into this stage.
Oh, huge roster changes, especially looking at our first team on screen as well, Valor Esports versus Whatever It Takes. When you're looking at Whatever It Takes, though, Cruz, I mean, you got Major Maniac joining the fray right now, alongside Neptune, Two Real, and Brack. And that team, it's one of those rosters where you're looking at this has potential, to go very far inside of challengers. I mean, you look at just what Neptune and Major Maniac have been able to do throughout the season, from New York subliners. Neptune, had some pretty strong games, as well as Major Maniac on Minnesota Rocker. He had a very strong season as well, playing that main AR role. But now dropping down to challengers, I'm curious to see how they're going to perform together.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought, right? Because I mean, Major Maniac and Neptune, we know they've got the gunny, we know they've got the skill to play at the highest level. They've done it for a number of years now. But I think the big thing when you're looking at this team as an overall is how are they going to mesh together? That's what I'm really wondering when we
Right.
come into this one. Because like you've got a bunch of great names. You've got Brack, who also used to be a pro player back inside of the CWL as well. So you've definitely got the talent here for all of these players. Just how are they going to play together? And then also with having Major Maniac and Neptune, like you said, coming down from the pro league more so recently than not recently. I think the big question is going to be how do they react to playing in challengers as well, because it's a very different game than what you see up at the pro level. Some different timings here and there. It's definitely not going to be the same exact game that you're going to see in the CDL over and over again.
Oh no, you're totally right, and I'm excited, Jesse. With the way that they mold together with Two Real and Brack, because in my opinion, I feel like they've been having a fantastic year. The two of them, very underrated year for themselves. So I'm excited to see how they mesh together, like you're alluding to. But across the board, I mean, it's the same story as well. You look at Valor Esports, who repped UT Crew back in the Clutch Cup, placing third as well. You got Phantoms, Rex, Exotic, and Yeez molding together into a team of Valor Esports now into the elites. And that team as well, Jesse, a team that is very strong on paper, has a strong reputation. Just how are they going to mesh together?
Yeah, and it's like one of those things too, where it's like they were like you said back if inside of the cup that you were talking about, but also if you look all the way back to the last stage of challengers as well, they were also half this UIU roster, but you've still
Right.
got Phantoms and Rex playing together. You pick up Exotic, who's a fantastic player. You can play pretty much any role inside of the game. Love the Canadian boy right there, and then Yeez, who is a CDL substitute essentially, and I mean he's a great submachine gun player. So I honestly think that I like the look of this team maybe a little bit more than I like the Whatever It Takes team. We'll just have to see if Whatever It Takes can just kind of come out and just use pure raw gun skill together to be able to win the match. But I think that the teamwork for Valor could really be on point here for this match.
Look, Jesse, I don't think it would be a challenger season without Phantoms and Rex being on the same team.
That's true.
I don't know how long it's been since they were on the same team. So excited to see, if this team perform inside of the elite stage number 3. But when you're looking at this alpha matchup, Jesse, it's a lot of Berlin, a lot of Tuscan. You got a Berlin to open this up on hardpoint, 3 Tuscans to follow, and a Berlin to close it. So it's one of those. What did you reference earlier in the season? It's a Berlin sandwich.
Yeah. So I mean, not. I think you were referencing back to when we had the triple Tuscan with the two Berlins in the middle,
Yeah.
and I called it a Tuscan Big Mac with the Berlins as the. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was something like that, but yeah, it's pretty much essentially a Berlin sandwich with a whole bunch of Tuscan as the meat on the inside of our series here. But honestly, hopefully we get all 5 here. We can get a good look at these two
Right.
teams as they start things off for this stage of the Challengers Elite. Because honestly, I think both these teams have a very high potential of making it out in the top 4, being able to make it in towards that finals where you want to be able to make it so you can make all the money that you possibly can inside of the Challengers Elite playoffs. But you know what? We'll just have to see as we go along here tonight.
A lot of changes that I hope pay off, especially for Whatever It Takes in this first matchup, because later on they're going to be playing Ultra NA, and we saw them in the Pro Am Classic. They looked lights out, and I expect them to be the exact same now inside of the Elite Season 3. But folks, it's not all we're going to be looking at here on the Clutch stream. We're also going to be paying attention to the Bravo and Charlie matches as well, where you're looking at Trash Bros versus 705 Esports over on Bravo, and Ultra NA versus Red Wolves over on Charlie. So a lot of action to go through, a little bit of red zone action here on the Clutch-ish stream, and I'm excited, Jesse, for everything. I mean, we keep on talking about roster changes. We keep on talking about, new players that are looking to mesh together, and I think that this season 3 so far has been one of the biggest question marks when you're looking at a lot of these teams. A lot of them just kind of coming together last second, especially considering, I mean, today you had ProLoot get picked up by Optic, and that leaves whatever it takes kind of scrambling to find a player, and Major Maniac joins the fray. So a lot of last minute changes and a lot of things to look forward to.
Yeah, it's really funny because we're getting a ton of players this year from challengers getting kind of plugged into the CDL, and that's exactly what challengers should be used for, right? It should be that system that the top players that are playing very, very well inside of challengers, if you need that role filled, you go up, you fill that role within a team inside of CDL that needs to make a change, and it's working beautifully for a lot of teams that are starting to make some of these changes here. It'll be interesting to see how Optic's able to play with Pro Loot in the fray.
Right.
Hopefully, Elite gets better soon, but for now, we're gonna have to just wait and see for how that one goes. Talking about our other match that we were looking at, Colin, the Toronto Ultra NA versus Red Wolves match, I'm very interested to see how Red Wolves look as well, because
You're
that
right.
team is a completely brand new team to Challengers Elite. It's Juju, Darksvized, Hate, and Weed. I think that team is going to be really interesting, just because we have not seen really anything of them outside of a couple top 16 placements here and there this season. So the fact they were able to qualify for Challengers Elite, I think is going to be really, really exciting for these guys just to get some experience under their belt. But also, I mean, you never know, they might be able to come in here, crash their way through, make some noise, and really, really make some upsets here.
No, you're right. I mean, Hate and Juju, they've had, a very consistent season so far inside of Challengers, just kind of on the outside looking in towards the elite stage. Now they break through. They have their chance to show what they made. I mean, you have Wheat and Darkseeved. I haven't seen a lot of Wheat inside of Vanguard, but Darkseeved, I've been able to cast him on Cold War in Modern Warfare, and he's a very strong player, especially in Search and Destroy. I'm going to see how it now kind of transitions into the late stage when a lot of this competition is going to be leveled up. But I mean, you're completely right. I think when you're looking at this Red Wolves squad, I'm very interested to see how they play. And it's one of those teams where you don't have a lot of experience inside the elite stage. It's going to make you a dark horse.
Absolutely. 100% is going to make you a dark horse, but here we go. Able to start loading on into our map number 1. It's going to be our first main look here. It's Valor Esports versus whatever it takes, and it's going to be a Berlin Hardpoint.
I'm excited. Berlin Hardpoint to open things up. Love this map. Love this mode combo. As you are definitely going to be looking at rotations, Jesse. We talk about it often. The fundamentals of Berlin can get a little bit out of hand if you're not at rhythm with your opposing team, and that early first hard point with whatever it takes spawning on the opposite end. They're definitely going to be looking to push this from the front side, break early, and try to deny Valor Esports of some early time. And you can already see Valor Esports into this hill. They find 2 opening kills. It's going to leave whatever it takes definitely on the back foot, trying to break on in as they're waiting for their full team to get together. You got Brack on the flank, Major Maniac, Neptune, and Turio right on the front doors. Brack's gonna open things up. He finds 2 in the back line. He's gonna take down Neptune, but a phenomenal break out of Valor.
Yeah, a great break there for the for whatever it takes to be able to make their way now inside of the hill, and you can see Valor's is pretty much going to chalk this one up. They're going to make the complete wrap over and across the hill, over towards Mailroom now, and it's exactly what they need to do, because there's just really no point of being able to hit that old hill. So you end up losing out on majority of time there, but you have an opportunity now to be able to gain a good chunk of time here, heading over towards P2. Zodic's going to be the player sitting up inside a top window, trying to make sure no pushes or anything fancy comes in through middle of the map.
Here comes the push from whatever it takes. Can they break again early? It's going to be Too Real on the back step. He drops Brack to fall as well. 2 players out of their hands now. Can they get the job done with the lesser numbers into the gunfights? Major Manac's going to find a crucial kill in the Phantoms in the backline. It is going to allow whatever it takes now to flood on in with those number advantages, but still Scrappy on the inside. An even game 33 all. Rex turns to the outside to see if he can take down Brack. However, Scrappy back and forth, Jesse. Nobody getting significant time here, but no matter what, this is big from Valor Esports because they're just denying whatever it takes of some more time on the rotation.
Yeah, but I mean, this is back-to-back kills now, where you've had Valor first team in, first team set up and ready to go, but it's been whatever it takes. They able to break in, get the scrap time, and be able to get a little bit of a lead for themselves off of that at the very least. So it's definitely not the worst case scenario if you're whatever it takes, but now if you're Valor, that's exactly what you want. Now heading over towards New. Once again, we will have Valor set up here inside, or sorry, whatever it takes set up here inside of the new
Right.
hill, and ready to go here for the push here from Valor.
Player to go, Occupado. As you can see, Two Real on the aggression. He will find one. Another split kill feed. Phantoms this time to find two. Yee's big job in the back line will clean up Brack. That's going to flip the spawns on out. You can see whatever it takes spawning so far away now with Valor Esports breaking from the front line. They've completely flipped this out now. Whatever it takes, forced to break from the courtyard. It looks like Brack and Two Real want to lead the way. A little bit disjointed from the teammates. And oh no, a team nade from Two Real. Definitely going to keep them at the lesser numbers. Neptune to fall as this is in shambles right now from whatever it takes.
Yeah, Valor is doing a great job of holding this hill, really not allowing anything to come through. And you can also see they're all looking to make the rotation all the way across the map. You've got two players here in Yeez and Phantoms just trying to make their push through. Two Real will be the player trying to combat this, trying to stop it from going down. He'll be able to get one. Does he expect to have a second player in the back here? That's the main question.
I don't think he does, but he's yet to find him. Will come away with the kill. So pulls away the attention from those whatever it takes players, and you can't allow Yeez to do exactly what he did back on P3. He's on 4 in a row. Looking for the streaks. Two Real falls again. Phantoms invested a glide bomb. Didn't see he had that, but it's going to completely open things up now for Valor Esports to wipe the floor with the whatever it takes setup. Get into this hill now 4-time, looking to amass the 100-point marker. And whatever it takes now, this is a tough hill to break, especially from the front where you are. You have to take some crucial gunfights at distance. He's going to be trying to play his life on the site, but he's going to drop as well. Rex now last alive around this hill. Whatever it takes makes it scrappy, so nobody going to be picking up this time, but that is not enough right now if you're whatever it takes.
Really unfortunate that Yeez is stuck inside the hill there to play inside and having to collect the time because he was on 5 in a row. Very good chance to be able to get some streaks there, but just having to lay down inside the hill, trying to just duck his head and stay alive as long as possible. Not how you want to play streaks. I'd say at least 95% of the time, but unfortunately does end up falling. Won't end up being able to find those streaks. That's going to leave him with no streaks now going forward into the rest of this game. You did have, like you called out earlier, Phantoms with the streak earlier on, but that has also been invested very early into this game. So we'll just have to see how they can combat, but I mean, it would have been nice to be able to find that second streak.
It would have been. Right now, whatever it takes, soaking up the time in P5. Two Real on screen, occupying mail room. Big two-piece out of Major Maniac for the rotation, Jesse. Major Maniac actually completely flipping things out over to P1. Hasn't broken the spawns yet from Valor Esports, but that's going to be so crucial when the time comes. Brack in the whole moment was just picking up time back on P5. Two Real is going to spawn all the way back towards trains. You haven't flipped the spawns just yet if you're whatever it takes. Major Maniac still in an opportunity. I know it was Neptune in an opportunity to make something happen, but he's going to fall, and whatever it takes, it was an opportunity there that you completely missed out on.
Absolutely missed out on. Now you've got Valor completely set up here for the new hill, ready to go. And as soon as you, oh, it looks like whatever it takes, a few of the players are dropping out. Unfortunate there for ourselves. So we got a little bit of a disconnect. We'll have to just see what happened. It was a pretty close game though through that first set of rotations. I think that what you saw a lot inside of that game though was Valor kind of just taking advantage of not a ton of time played with this whatever it takes roster. I feel like that's what we saw. A little bit more team camaraderie, a little bit more kind of unison in a lot of their pushes than what we saw from whatever it takes and a lot of that hard point there. And I think that's why you saw them coming out on top in a lot of the situations over the other team.
Well, it's tough, when you bring in a player day of a tournament, and especially in hardpoint when you have to, set up on power positions, always watch each other's back. You can see just that one little missing link in whatever it takes, and it forced a lot of early breaks from Valor Esports. So if this goes, or when this goes a second go around, I expect, them to talk about it a little bit, maybe patch things up going forward, but Valor Esports, a fantastic job, Jesse. Those early breaks from themselves, I don't want to talk too much about whatever it takes and their kind of blunders. Whereas, Valor Esports, they were playing that so well. Even on that second set of rotations that we were looking at, Major Maniac pops off 3 kills, and they don't allow him to flip spawns. They stop, they hold things out, they play patiently, and they make sure that they hold on to the better side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, knowing when to make those pushes and knowing when to play patient or when you need to play super aggressive, very, very important. It's what you're getting out of that Valor roster. Phantoms looked really, really good today so far. Yeez was looking amazing. I mean, what was his stats at the end of that when we split? He was 12-4 at one point, 12-5 at the worst at one point that I saw from Yeez. So I mean, definitely what you like to see from him coming into this roster as one of the newer players, because like we said, coming into this one, it is half that old UYU roster, pretty much just picking up Yeez and picking up Exotic, and honestly, so far they look to be clicking really, really well.
Well, you kind of we've talked about this in the start of the game show, but you're right. A lot of these roster changes look to be good. Valor Esports, they look strong, whatever it takes. Not as much in that first one, but it does seem like we have the issues and we know what they are. It's just some battle net issues going on with these teams, and it happened along all of our games right now.
Oh,
Bravo, Charlie, and Alpha. So we're gonna hop to a break, see if we can get things situated, folks. A little unexpected, but when things are resolved, we'll come back with map one. Welcome back, guys. I got a whole lot of bad news, not a lot of good news to talk about right now. We are still experiencing issues on the BattleNet. It seems like there's some trouble with the servers, but that is going to mean that these games are going to be postponed and the stream is going to have to be canceled. But I mean, Jesse, from what we had, it was looking pretty good. You know, a lot of
Hey,
I was excited for the elites, and I'm excited for when these teams get to play still.
hey, man, we had what 100 good seconds, one full rotation of some fantastic Call of Duty to watch. All right, that's all I'm
We
gonna
did.
say. It was a good time, and like you said, you know what, these matches will still be played out. We'll still have all of our answers and all of our conclusions coming through. And you know, this is just week one of the Challengers Elite. We will have more to come in the weeks to come, and you know, it is what it is. Unfortunate situations like this happen, and you know, we just have to move on from it. It is what it is.
Well, make sure you guys pay attention to Challengers Twitter, well, whether it's CDC Update, you know, CDC Intel, or even Clutch GG for everything in regards of tomorrow's matches, you know, which are supposed to be streamed as well. So make sure you're checking that one out because I hope to be back here tomorrow to look at some challengers. We're excited. Stay tuned tomorrow. More challengers to come.